Deuteronomy Chapter 5. And Moses called all Israel and said to them, Hear, O Israel, the statutes and the judgments which I am speaking in your hearing today, and learn them and keep them, so that you may do them. Jehovah our God made a covenant with us at Horeb. Not with our fathers did Jehovah make this covenant, but with us, we who are all here alive today. Face to face Jehovah spoke with you on the mountain from the midst of the fire. I was standing between Jehovah and you at that time to declare to you the word of Jehovah, for you were afraid because of the fire and did not go up to the mountain, saying, I am Jehovah your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the slave house. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol, the form of anything that is in heaven above or on the earth beneath or in the water beneath the earth. You shall not bow down to them, and you shall not serve them, for I, Jehovah your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me. Yet showing loving kindness to thousands of generations of those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of Jehovah your God in vain, for Jehovah will not hold guiltless him who takes his name in vain. Keep the Sabbath day so as to sanctify it, as Jehovah your God has commanded you. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is a Sabbath to Jehovah your God. You shall not do any work, you nor your son nor your daughter nor your male servant nor your female servant nor your ox nor your donkey nor any of your cattle nor the sojourner with you who is within your gates, so that your male servant and your female servant may rest as you do. And you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt and that Jehovah your God brought you out from there with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm, hence, Jehovah your God commanded you to hold the Sabbath day. Honor your father and your mother, as Jehovah your God has commanded you, that your days may be extended and that it may be well with you upon the land which Jehovah your God is giving you. You shall not kill. Neither shall you commit adultery. Neither shall you steal. Neither shall you testify as a vain witness against your neighbor. Neither shall you desire your neighbor's wife, nor shall you covet your neighbor's house, his field, or his male servant or his female servant, his ox or his donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. These words Jehovah spoke to all your congregation on the mountain from the midst of the fire, the cloud, and the deep darkness, with a great voice, and he added no more. And he wrote them upon 2 tablets of stone and gave them to me. And when you heard the voice from the midst of the darkness, while the mountain burned with fire, you came near to me, all the heads of your tribes and your elders. And said, Jehovah our God has just shown us his glory in his greatness, and his voice we have heard from the midst of the fire. Today we have seen that God speaks with man and yet he lives. Therefore why should we die now? For this great fire will consume us. If we hear the voice of Jehovah our God any longer, we will die. For who is there among all flesh who has heard the voice of the living God speaking from the midst of the fire, as we have, and has lived? You go near and hear all that Jehovah our God says, then you will speak to us all that Jehovah our God speaks to you, and we will hear and do. And Jehovah heard the sound of your words while you spoke to me, and Jehovah said to me, I have heard the sound of the words of this people which they have spoken to you, they have done well in all that they have spoken. Oh, that this heart of theirs would be in them always to fear me and keep all my commandments so that it may go well with them and with their children forever. Go, say to them, return to your tents. But you, stand here by me that I may speak to you the whole commandment, and the statutes and the judgments, which you will teach them to do in the land which I am giving them to possess. Keep them therefore so that you may do them, even as Jehovah your God has commanded you. You shall not turn aside to the right or to the left. You shall walk in all the way that Jehovah your God has commanded you, so that you may live and that it may go well with you and that you may extend your days in the land which you will possess. Deuteronomy Chapter 6. Now this is the commandment, the statutes and the judgments, which Jehovah your God has commanded me to teach you, that you may do them in the land into which you are crossing over to possess. That you may fear Jehovah your God and keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I am commanding you, you and your son and your grandson, all the days of your life, and that your days may be extended. Therefore hear, O Israel, and be certain to do it, that it may go well with you and that you may be greatly increased, in a land flowing with milk and honey, even as Jehovah, the God of your fathers, promised you. Hear, O Israel, Jehovah is our God, Jehovah is one. And you shall love Jehovah your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words, which I command you today, shall be upon your heart. And you shall repeat them to your children, and speak about them when you sit in your house and when you journey on the way, and when you lie down and when you rise up. And you shall bind them on your hand as a sign, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. And when Jehovah your God brings you into the land which he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give you great and fine cities that you did not build, and houses full of every good thing that you did not fill, and hewn cisterns that you did not hewn, vineyards and olive groves that you did not plant, and you have eaten and are satisfied. Be careful that you do not forget Jehovah who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the slave house. It is Jehovah your God whom you shall fear, and him whom you shall serve, and it is by his name only that you shall swear. You shall not go after other gods, any of the gods of the peoples who surround you. For Jehovah your God is a jealous God in the midst of you. Otherwise the anger of Jehovah your God will be kindled against you, and he will destroy you from off the face of the earth. You shall not test Jehovah your God, as you tested him at Massah. You shall diligently keep the commandments of Jehovah your God and his testimonies and his statutes, which he has commanded you. And you shall do that which is right and good in the sight of Jehovah, so that it may go well with you and you may enter and possess the good land, concerning which Jehovah swore to your fathers. To drive out all your enemies from before you, as Jehovah has spoken. When your son asks you in the future, saying, What is the significance of the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments that Jehovah our God commanded you? Then you will say to your son, We were Pharaoh's slaves in Egypt, and Jehovah brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. And Jehovah put forth before our eyes great and grievous signs and wonders in Egypt against Pharaoh and all his house. Then he brought us out from there in order to bring us in, that he might give us the land which he swore to our fathers. And Jehovah commanded us to do all these statutes so that we would fear Jehovah our God for our good always, and he would preserve us alive, as we are this day. And it will be righteousness to us if we are certain to do all this commandment before Jehovah our God, as he commanded us. Deuteronomy Chapter 7. When Jehovah your God brings you into the land which you are about to enter to possess, and clears away many nations from before you, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, 7 nations more numerous and mightier than you. And Jehovah your God delivers them up before you and you defeat them, you shall utterly destroy them, you shall make no covenant with them, nor shall you show them any favor. And you shall not make marriage alliances with them, your daughters you shall not give to their sons, and their daughters you shall not take for your sons. For they will draw your sons away from following after me to serve other gods, and the anger of Jehovah will burn against you and he will quickly destroy you. But you shall deal with them in this way, their altars you shall tear down, their pillars you shall shatter, their Asherahs you shall hew down, and their idols you shall burn with fire. For you are a holy people to Jehovah your God, it is you whom Jehovah your God has chosen from among all the peoples which are upon the face of the earth to be a people for his personal treasure. It was not because you were more numerous than all the peoples that Jehovah has set his affection on you and has chosen you, for you were the fewest of all the peoples. Rather, because Jehovah loved you and because he would keep the oath which he swore to your fathers, Jehovah has brought you out with a mighty hand and ransomed you from the slave house, from the hand of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. Know therefore that it is Jehovah your God who is God, the faithful God who keeps covenant and loving kindness to the 1,000th generation with those who love him and keep his commandments. But repays directly those who hate him by destroying them. He will not be slow toward him who hates him, he will repay him directly. Therefore you shall keep the commandment, and the statutes and the judgments, which I am commanding you today to do. And it will be that because you listen to these judgments, and keep them and do them, Jehovah your God will keep with you the covenant and the loving kindness which he swore to your fathers. And he will love you and bless you and multiply you, he will also bless the fruit of your womb and the fruit of your ground, your grain and your new wine and your fresh oil, the offspring of your cattle and the young of your flock, on the land which he swore to your fathers to give you. You will be more blessed than all other peoples, there will not be any barren male or female among you or among your animals. And Jehovah will remove every sickness from you, and none of the evil illnesses of Egypt, which you know about, will he put upon you, but he will give them to all who hate you. And you shall devour all the peoples which Jehovah your God is giving you, your eye shall not pity them, nor shall you serve their gods, for that would be a snare to you. If you say in your heart, these nations are greater than I, how will I be able to dispossess them? You shall not be afraid of them, you must remember what Jehovah your God did to Pharaoh and to all Egypt. The great trials that your eyes saw, and the signs and the wonders, and the mighty hand and the outstretched arm with which Jehovah your God brought you out, so will Jehovah your God do to all the peoples whom you are afraid of. Furthermore, Jehovah your God will send the hornet among them until those who are left and those who hide themselves from you are destroyed. You shall not be terrified of them, for Jehovah your God is in your midst, a great and awesome God. And Jehovah your God will clear away these nations from before you little by little, you shall not devour all of them immediately, lest the beasts of the field multiply against you. But Jehovah your God will deliver them up before you and rout them utterly until they are destroyed. And he will deliver their kings into your hand, and you shall destroy their name from under heaven, no man will be able to stand against you until you destroy them. The idols of their gods you shall burn with fire, you shall not desire the silver or gold upon them, nor take it for yourself, lest you be ensnared by it, for it is an abomination to Jehovah your God. And you shall not bring an abomination into your house, lest you become a cursed thing like it, you shall utterly detest it and utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing.